Good morning, boys and girls, and welcome to Story Time on Thursday morning at 10 o'clock. I have a book today that I think you're going to thoroughly enjoy. It's called Annie Rose is My Little Sister, and it's by a lady named Shirley Hughes. And it is such a good book. I hope you will enjoy it as much as I did. Oh, I think you will thoroughly enjoy this book. The name of it is Annie Rose is My Little Sister by Shirley Hughes. It is about a little boy and a little girl who are brothers and sisters. And you know, sometimes they got along fine and other times they didn't. And if you have brothers and sisters, that's probably the very thing that happens with you, too. Okay, let's begin. Annie Rose is my little sister. She likes books a lot, and she always wants me to look at them with her. And on this page you see, oh look, he's giving her a hug. Isn't that sweet? I was trying to figure out maybe how old they are. I thought maybe he might be about 4, maybe 5, and she might be about 3, something like that. Anyway, over here on this page, they are looking at the books. And I don't know if maybe he's reading some to her too, but they're certainly looking at the pictures. She's good at playing games. She likes it when I hide under a sheet and peek out at her. Boo! Boo! Now that's something cute, isn't it? I think I remember doing something like that when I was little. We'd take a sheet or a blanket, put it over our head, and then walk up to a friend and pull it down and say, boo! Boo! But when I'm really hiding, she can hardly ever find me. All right, on this page now, he's hiding, and you see where he's hiding? I believe he's hiding in a closet, and you can see clothes, coats, and things hanging, and then he's hiding behind, it looks like maybe his mother or daddy's coat there. And I want you to notice her. She's looking for him, but she looks so puzzled. She has a look on her face like, I can't tell where he might be. And look very closely. I want you to notice in a lot of these pictures, this little girl is sucking her thumb. I don't know if you ever did that when you were little or not, but my children certainly did. Isn't that precious? Now, one of Annie Rose's favorite toys is her little chest of drawers. She likes opening and shutting each one. It's a little chest that has little drawers in it, just like you probably have in your room that your mother may put your clothes and all in. But this one has she just puts her little toys in it. Here's a tea set and the cups, and she has some other things that will fit in that. Oh, look on this page. She puts all sorts of things inside them. Sometimes she pulls out all the drawers and makes them into beds for her family of mice. Look. All the little tiny mice, and she's made little beds for them in the little drawers of the chest. Now, they're not real mice, so, they're just toys. Oh, this is one of my favorite pages in the whole book. Look on this page. The little brother is sleeping away in his little twin bed, his little single bed, and she is sleeping in her crib. And she got all of her toys and things down at the end, and a little tiny brush here that she uses to brush their hair. And if you look closely at her, you'll also see she's sucking that thumb again. Isn't that precious? And they have books over here, and they have the ABCs on the wall. Now, the only things I have in my bed when I go to sleep, now this is the brother talking. The only things I have in my bed when I go to sleep are my bit of blanket and my elephant, Flumbo. He is quite old, nearly as old as I am. There's his elephant, Flumbo. You can see him right there. But Annie Rose has lots of things in her crib, and it shows a picture of some of the things that she has. Early in the morning, I can hear her throwing them onto the floor, one by one. Thump, thump, thump. And then the only thing she has left in there is Buttercup, her lamb. Here's Buttercup right here. She doesn't often throw her out. She wants her to stay with her. Now, let's see what happens when they get up. Annie Rose also wants to play with my toys. She seems to like them better than her own. And that is very annoying. And annoying means it bothers him. He doesn't particularly like that because she wants to play with his toys, his trains and fire truck and all of his things too. So when I want to lay out all my cars and trucks and my train tracks, I have to put them on the table where Annie Rose can't get them. Now, if you'll see, this is exactly what he's done. He's put all of his toys, his trucks, and his little toys and his big toys on a table, and she can't reach them. Look, she's just looking over the edge of the table like she wants to play so badly, doesn't it? Oh, yeah, she's a cute little girl. Our favorite game to play together is store. When we have a store inside, we set out all the little packages and boxes and plastic bottles that Mom has saved for us. And we arrange all sorts of nice things on plates from Annie Rose's tea set. Then I am the storekeeper. I am Mr. Louis Burroughs, and Annie Rose is my helper. Now, let me tell you about when I was a little girl, how we used to play store. And my daddy had a store. He had a grocery store. When we would go out in the yard, all the neighbor children, we'd get a place that didn't have grass on it, and we'd take a big stick, and we would draw off rooms in the dirt for a playhouse. We would have a kitchen, and we would have a bedroom and a den and all sorts of rooms, and we just drew them in the dirt, and that would be our house. And then we had all sorts of things that old pots and pans and stuff that our mother had given us to play with. Oh, and that was the most fun. Sometimes Annie Rose wants to make her own store in the backyard. She has leaf plates, and she sells empty snail shells and daisies. And here you see that she's made a plate out of a leaf, and she has a little snail shell in it, and then she also has a plate made out of a leaf over here, and it has some daisies in it. So they are having a fun time. And I'll tell you another thing. I've taken my little grandson over to Rockingham many times, not lately because he's too old now, but when he was smaller, I've taken my grandchildren over to Rockingham to the museum, and they have a big, a lovely museum over there. I hope your parents will take you over there sometime. All sorts of things. But one thing they have is a kitchen. It looks like a real kitchen, and it has water, and it has little plastic dishes, and the children can sit there and they can play like they're cooking or making something. So that's a nice place to go to, that museum in Rockingham. Can't think of the name of it. But now on this page you see the mother with them. But they can't make a daisy chain, and neither can I. Only my mom can do that. So if you see on this page, that's what they're doing. The mother is in between them. And look on the ground at these little tiny, I always call them little clovers. You know, they've got a little white bloom on them. And the mother is making a chain out of them. And she's linking those together, linking the blooms together. And they're both looking, oh, they're looking so hard at that. They want to learn how to do it. And she's trying to teach them. And they want to learn so that they can do it by themselves. And then they can, you know what they can do with it? They can take it and put it around their neck and make a necklace. It's like a chain. That's neat. Whoa, here's something you like, I know. Look at this closely, and I'm not going to say anything right now. I want you to tell me, or tell your parents, after look at this picture, where you think these kids are now. Take a good close look. They are at the, starts with a B, B. They're at the beach, right. When we go to the beach, Dad and I make a huge sand castle, and it's got tunnels, and it's got, all around the bottom, it's got a moat that fills up with water when the tide comes in. Now let me tell you what a moat is. Sometimes, especially a long time ago when people had castles and that sort of thing, they would put, it was like a big ditch, and they would put it around their house or their castle or wherever they lived, and people couldn't get couldn't get through because it was water there. That's what a moat was. And Annie Rose, bless her heart, she can only make sand pies, but they're very good ones. So look closely. Now here's Mother and Annie Rose, and look at all the sand pies she's made. And over here you see the big brother, and remember his name, I believe, was Louis, wasn't it? And they are building he and his dad, a huge sand castle. Now if you'll also look in the background here, you see other children and families, and they're playing and doing all sorts of things in the sand at the ocean too. Some of them are headed to the water, and some of them are just having fun on the sand, aren't they? It's a nice, nice outing. Uh-oh. Look at Annie Rose. Look at the expression on her face here. She doesn't look real happy, does she? Let's see what's going on. Annie Rose doesn't like the ocean very much. She prefers kicking up the water in shallow pools. And shallow means it's not very deep. And if you've ever been to the beach, and I'm sure most of you have, you know when you first go into the ocean, it is shallow, isn't it? The waves roll up, and it hardly even covers your feet. You have to walk out to get into the deeper waters. But she's not real happy because, the ocean makes a noise too. So she's got to get used to it, but I bet she does. But look on this page. The little brother and his dad. But Dad and I like diving into big, rough waves. Now, they're not afraid, are they? He's gotten all used to this ocean, and he's diving in with his dad. And you see how the water comes around and the waves? And when it comes up the shore, it's not very deep. It's shallow. Now, oh my goodness. What do we see here? Look closely. Look closely on this page. Look very closely and let's see what you think. I would say that Annie Rose is having a fit or a temper tantrum, wouldn't you? Oh, my goodness. And they are in a store, and here's a buggy where they were buying stuff. And look at the people in the store. They're looking to see what's going on with her. And the little brother looks like, oh my goodness, he's embarrassed. Now, Annie Rose can be really awful sometimes. She gets into a rage and lies on the floor. And she screams and kicks. And most awful of all is when she does this in a big store. Oh, and that's what she's doing. Look at her screaming and kicking. And the mother says, get up, get up. And little brother does too. But after a while, she usually cheers up. In other words, she's okay. And here they sit on a bench in the store, and they see a lady, and she's holding out her hand to the lady, and the lady's smiling at her. So she's all right now. That's an elderly lady, and that means she's older. She's older than, of course, her parents and all. But she has cheered up. And I believe the little brother's happy about that too, isn't he? He's got a little bag, holding a little bag there. I don't know if it's his candy or cookies or what. Now then. Oh my goodness. Now Annie Rose has got some friends. Here they are. They're coming up to her. And Annie Rose is smiling because she's so happy to see. Annie Rose's best friends are Marion and Lily. They play together a lot. Sometimes, not very often, Marion and Lily only want to play with each other, and they don't want Annie Rose, and that makes her sad. So let's go back over here and look at them playing together. Here they come, Marion and Lily, and they're giving her a hug, and they're playing. It looks like they're playing with something in the sand. And then here, and the cat's just watching, looking on. Here they're in a pleasant playhouse, look. A little green playhouse with hearts on it. And here's Annie Rose, and she's reaching for the teapot. And this little girl, it's either Marion or Lily, is handing her a pot. So they're playing house. Now, look at this page. Oh my goodness. Marion and Lily are leaving, and they're hugging each other and going back home. And Annie Rose, look at her. She looks so sad, doesn't she? She has a little teacup in her hand, and she was wanting them to stay and play, but they have to go home. I'm going to read this again. Annie Rose's best friends are Marion and Lily. They play together a lot. Sometimes, but not very often, Marion and Lily only want to play with each other, and they don't want Annie Rose. And that makes Annie Rose so sad. She feels like crying. And look at the cat down here. She doesn't want to see him leave either. Now, Big Brother has a best friend too. His best friend is named Bernard. And when he comes to play at our house, Annie Rose always wants to jump in. She laughs and laughs when Bernard pretends to be a monster. All right, look over here. Here they are. Now here's Brother, and here's his friend Bernard. Here's a kitty cat looking on again to see what's going to happen. And this is Annie Rose, and she's wanting to play too. She's wanting to play with the boys. But now look at Bernard. He's pretending he's a monster. So Annie Rose just laughs and laughs when Bernard pretends to be a monster. He shows his fierce teeth and makes terrible noises. Oh, I bet that does scare her. But Annie Rose loves Bernard. Look on this page. He's hanging over the arm of the chair, and she's reaching over to him. So that shows she's not afraid of him, doesn't it? She loves Bernard, too. And his brother looking around the corner. But when Annie Rose cries, or when wakes up from her nap and sometimes she cries, or in a bad mood, I'm the only person who can cheer her up. And look here. Here she's been down for her afternoon nap, and Mom is holding her in her arms and tried to make her feel better because she just woke up. Look, there's a tear rolling down her little face. You can't see it probably, but there it is, right there. And there he is, little brother's trying to make her happy. I'm going to read this again, but when Annie Rose cries or wakes up from her nap in a bad mood, I'm the only person who can cheer her up. And on this page it says, because she's my little sister and I'm her big brother, and look at them walking away. She's holding her little stuffed animal, and she's barefooted, look, and he's holding her hand, and they're walking away. You know what this reminds me of? It reminds me of my two children. I have a boy, and he's 53 years old, and I have a girl who's 52 years old. And so they're grown now, and they have children of their own, which gives me grandchildren. But when they were little, they were just 1 year, well, and they're still just 1 year apart in age. Oh, and his name was John, and her name is Jenna, and they play together, and he took such good care of her. I can think of so many times when she was afraid or sad, and he took care of her and made her happy again. And that's so sweet. Now this page shows them doing several different things together. And I think we're just going to go back and, let me go back and read this page again that we just read, and then we'll talk about the things they do together. Now it says, he says over here that I'm the only person that can cheer her up. And then he says, because she's my little sister and I'm her big brother. And then on this page, here are things that they do together. Look closely at the top picture right here. I think they are bathing her baby doll, and he even brought a pitcher of water to help bathe the baby doll, don't you? And over here, I believe they're playing hide and seek. And look, she's got her eyes closed, and he's running away to hide. Oh, over here, they're playing outside, and they're reaching up to grab a tree limb. And if I'm not mistaken, it's fall of the year, just like we're coming close to fall of the year right now in September, because the leaves are pretty colors of yellow and orange and brown. He's already swinging on the tree limb, and she's trying so hard to reach it. You know what? I bet he'll come down and lift her up so she can reach it too, don't you? And in this picture, they're just playing, each playing with their little toys. He's got on looks like it's a fireman's hat or a policeman's hat, and then she's got on a lady's hat. So I'd say maybe they're playing dress up, and they have some of their books and toys with them, and she has a purse or a pocketbook over here that she's also playing with. Oh, they got tired. Here they are up here at the top of this page. They've stretched out on a yellow sofa, and they are resting or taking naps. Look closely at her. What she got in her mouth? She's sucking her thumb again. And look at him. He's just all stretched out and relaxing. So they've played so hard that they're going to take a little nap. Now they're up and playing again. Look at her here. She's in a wagon, and he's pulling or pushing her one. Look at the expression on her face. Woo! It looks like she's saying, "Don't go so fast." And look at the cat. He's trying to get out of the way, isn't he? And on this last scene in this page, she is following him. He's got on his funny hat, and she's got on hers. And she looks like she's just following him and going to do just exactly what he does, doesn't it? But he also says, we will go on being friends forever. Always and always forever. Oh, look. Even when we're grown up. And the last page shows them walking through a field. And if you'll look closely, you can tell that they've both grown some. He's a little taller, and so is she. So they're growing up. So what he's saying is that even when they're grown up, they will be really good friends, just like they were when they were growing up together. And they're walking through a field with the daisies, pretty blue sky in the background. And they'll be that same way when they are adults and really grown up. What a wonderful story. Now, I want to tell you a little something about these books. When I first started doing story time, I used my books that I had at home. There were some that my children had, some that I had given them, some that I've given my grandchildren, and most of the ones I've used so far were books that I had at home and that I had kept so that when my grandchildren come down, they can read and play too. But now I've just about run out, so I've been going to the library uptown here in Wadesboro, and it's called the Hampton B. Allen Library, and they have the most wonderful selection of children's books you have ever seen. And I'm going to ask if you were to get your parents, your mother, dad, grandparents, whoever, to take you up there, or just go up themselves and get you some children's books that you can use at home. And lately I've been going every week and picking out some that we can use here in story time. And this was one of them. Annie Rose is my little sister. And I think you will enjoy going up there. You'll enjoy seeing all the books. And they have it decorated so nicely. And I think you will thoroughly enjoy it. Now let me say to you this. Please come by again next Thursday and join us for story time. And remember, the story time is on, not just on Thursday. After Thursday at 10, you can pick it up most any time. And I want you to know that I love you and God loves you too.
This little light of mine, I'm gonna let it shine. This little light of mine, I'm gonna let it shine. Let it shine, let it shine, let it shine. all the people.